Hello, everybody. So I just want to go over Tank and kind of give a little bit of a preview or a recap of how Tank works and some of the intricacies that we have built into this PBL task. That is a very long PBL endeavor, but it's a very real life and applicable thing. So if we go to McLeodClass.com, we can go over to the More section and we can click on Tank tab. I am in the process of updating this, so all the stuff will be on this page. You can see it easier, but for now, it is here. So if you wanted to, you could watch the YouTube quickly. Excellent, of course it is. So you can watch that 1 minute description about Tank. You can see some pictures from stuff what we've done. You can see the winners. If you wanted to see our schedule, right, what it was, you could see the individual companies that we're presenting. You can click on that and so forth. But I would point you to down here, so our schedule for how we operate. Mind you, this is for the spring. There was one for the fall as well, so I will include that there. But this is what companies are expected to do on the certain days. So you'll have the date, the day session, color code, I'll explain that in a second, the focus, the task, and then any forms, we'll put hyperlinks in there for them on it, and as we go down and so forth, it puts us in there. But what separates us in terms of uniqueness is the blended learning or the PBL focus is the different colors. So green is a little more explanatory, so we're introducing things. Yellow is hands-on, blue is collaborative, and orange is extension. Extension could be anything where we're having a guest speaker talk, whatnot. But what you'll notice in the setup is that there's very little green, because again, the whole process of Tank is to have the students be in charge of it themselves, at the center of their learning, and creating it and letting the teacher stay on the back end of it. So that's how we would work on that. So each day they can come in, they can see what they're working on, and we try to stay a couple weeks ahead of time, so then they know where to go. They can click on their links, whatever they need to. Everything, the whole point is set up for them. And then what makes it even a step more unique in the sense of collaboration is we do use team drives, but it's renamed shared drives now within Google. So you have My Drive, which is your individual stuff, and Share Drives is something you can have a drive to work with other people on. So for example, there's 25 members in this one, there's 11 members in this one, and so forth. So I just want to show you what it might look like in that one. And let's pick a decent one, if I remember. Let's go with luxury motion films and just see. So this is what it might look like. So within it, they all 14 members have equal access, and they can set themselves at different levels for it. So if you were to click there, you can set them as managers, you can set them as content managers, you can set them as different things. So it's a really cool way for them to collaborate. But this is what it would look like. They have subfolders they put in, and I let them take reins on that, so they will keep everything in here, and I am also a member of it, so that gives me full access to looking at it. But if we just look at some certain things here, so like their small business plan template, they have to actually make this, and this is an example, this is what they wrote, and they would then put this into the SBA.gov, and it prints out a beautiful business plan for them. But there's a lot of stuff that they have to do, and it allows me to write comments to it. They can resolve it. They also have to put in all their information so they know how to keep in contact with each other, not just through Google Drive and through the web page, but also through email, cell phone, social media, all that stuff, and so forth. It was really fun because they were able to collaborate on their mission and vision statements, so they were able to say what they would want and then tweak it from there and look at it, so that was a lot of fun. This is an interesting thing too here. This is our job tasks list. So every company will have this, and you'll notice there's individual roles here. And what they do is they write what they're working on, and they go down in progressive form like this. And as you can see up here, what it says is green is they would highlight the background when it's green, mean it's done. Orange is like, hey, we're missing it, or red, wow, we're delinquent. We really got to get going on this. So they're allowed to make this, and they keep working on it. They put their own tasks in there. I try to have them be as quick to the point instead of writing paragraphs, but it's more to keep them accountable and see where the company is going on that. We did talk a little bit about terminations and like what happens when people do not hold up to their end of the bargain, so they will fill out a termination form, DTTF, who wrote it, everything, and then you'll see down here it's either approved or not approved, then I'll say why, and then they can resubmit in that one. And how they can do that is CEO and VPs have their own team drive folder where they operate within. So we will notice in here we have their whole thing that they can see. So we can go to CEOs. We can see everything there that CEOs would be working on. We can see VPs, what they're working on. Then we can see the termination forms, the stuff that I have approved or I haven't approved. But it's a fun, interactive way to run a real business with a pretty low effective filter. What I would like to show in this one, so again, how we stay in contact with the CEOs and VPs is we have to be on different documents together as well. So this is an old document looking at it. So 1 through 4 here, we want them to be at a 4 level. So we always want them to be there. That means it's finished. So for example, the logo, it was done on 320. They said that. I approved it. I put it there. We all see it, and you'll notice down here, you'll see all the companies here as well. So each one, it would look like that to set up with. So what's cool is then they can write me messages on that one, comment, I can resolve it, all that stuff. It's just a nice way to be able to track things, so we stay in touch in that. We also do this where they have to write their reflective piece after each day, so the CEOs will have to do something, so they'll have to write just a very quick daily brief of what happened, and then I can write them response back and they check on it, and it's a way for us to have feedback without me going to them and I would say calling them out in person, if you will. It's a nice, relaxed way to do it. What was really cool is they do track their own data in here, for example. So instead of looking at the data here, I'm going to go find the one that I really wanted to show you about the color scheme here. So what the VP's role is each day is they're going to give the individual roles a mark from 1 to 3, 1 being the least, 3 being the best, 0 meaning nothing, they didn't show up, or there was something really wrong, they didn't do anything. So what you'll notice here is that each day they score each other, or the VP scores, they put in the mark here and then it gives us an average, and we color code it. So what you'll see is, at the beginning of this particular session, task, okay, then it got decent, and then there's some point we hit a rut here, and then we got a little bit better. But what this visual representation shows you is it shows you the flow of the company, right? And it really helps them be able to see, like, hey, what did we do right here? What did we do wrong here? So how can we re-implement what we did here? And it's a really good way to teach students trend analysis without actually having to look at numbers and get bogged down by it. We really look at the colors here in that one. So if we go back to the data, and this is where we teach them on the tracking portion of it, so let's go to the data here. Everything, whenever they put stuff in on their own here, if they put a 2 in there, then it would automatically, the formula is written where it drops into these columns here so we can track it, we can see. So what you'll see is we have VP, CEO, then we have a leadership combined one, which takes both of those scores and averages it, and then we also have a company roles. So what we really want to track here is we want to look at and see how is the leadership compared to what the company roles are executing, right? So where is this different in management? And what you would want to see down here is you want to see stuff in the dark green, right? You want to see it right at 0. For a truly effective company, you would want to see your leadership and your company roles right within the same amount of grading or assessment value, right? So 0 really is where we want to be. You don't want to be in the negative or in the red in this one, because this means that your leadership is doing worse than your company, right? So you wouldn't want to see that. And then the flip is the yellow, or the opposite, where it's in the high positives. You don't want to see the CEOs, VPs, the leadership of a company that much better than every company role. And so what each company has is they have their own tracker like this, so they can look and see, like, hey, we started out good, we were really equitable together, we worked well, something happened here, we got a little bit better, and then we started taking a downturn. So what you would see is that you see this trend going down regardless, which is something that they would have to combat, but they also have to take into account that, the company roles are differing from the leadership, so we have to figure out how to lead differently, because what you would want to see is you would want to see more of a linear progression, or something maybe going up like this on both of them. You definitely wouldn't want to see a trend down, and you don't want to see these gaps. So it's just an easy way for them to use data in a way that's going to help them shape their future within this task. So those are just a few of the things we have. We have so many things here that we do with it. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I wish I had hours to explain it to you, but you'll be like, oh my goodness gracious. It's just a lot of fun, though, because everything we have here, we have it there for a reason. So CEOs and VPs have their own checklist of this is the stuff they would have to go through on a day-to-day basis. There's just so much stuff in here for it. So this is where, for me, in the project-based learning endeavor, it is a lot of work as the individual that is running it or that is overseeing it. But with this setup, I truly, truly believe that it is a real-life applicable endeavor that they're going through. So it's a lot of fun. If you have any more questions, though, please feel free to come back to this point on McLeodClass.com. I will have more stuff here. I will have more short descriptive tutorials that'll kind of help us see the whole project base element to this task that we're doing in Dawn Tank. But that is it. So love you to follow it. And again, these students are absolutely brilliant, and the stuff that they're creating is out of this world for me, and it's such a pleasure to see. So I enjoy doing the work for them to be able to showcase what they have. Take care. Bye.